Happy Sunday, everybody. I am so glad to be back. I know I've been away for a little bit, and I am not even going to apologize for that because I had family stuff and birthday stuff, and I had stuff, and it was an amazing break. But I'm back, and we are behind the times here. So we're going to get busy, and we're going to do something fun today. We are going to make not your mama's deviled eggs, but we are going to make deviled eggs, which is a wonderful carnivore treat for the most part. And these ones are going to be dressed up. So we're going to be talking about TSL organic spices, which, as you know, is my own brand of spices. And we're going to be making mayonnaise. We're going to be, good morning, Mom. We're going to be doing this start to finish. So you want to grab a pen and a piece of paper, and yeah, you're going to want to be writing this down. Now, if you have never made deviled eggs, this is so easy. You are just absolutely going to wonder why you never did it before. So let's get something here that we can put our eggshells in. We'll just bring this up here a little bit. Now, you know what? First things first, let's get our mayonnaise made. You know, people go to the store and they buy mayonnaise, and I am not really clear on why they do that. But now the one thing that you want to make sure is that whatever egg you're going to be using for your mayonnaise is pasteurized, because you don't know where it came from. The yolk inside has to reach an internal temperature of 138 Fahrenheit. So if you put it in water, that's about 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Or if you have a sous vide, you can take a few eggs and put them in the sous vide, set it for 140 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what that is in Celsius. You know, I am the last generation that was trained in both Fahrenheit and Imperial. So my brain goes back and forth and whatever. If you want to know what the temperature is outside, you're getting that in Celsius. If you want to know what the temperature is to cook something, chances are you're getting that in Fahrenheit. I have no explanation. It just is what it is. So we have our pasteurized egg in here, and we're going to add 1 tablespoon. Whoops, maybe a little more than a tablespoon, but not much more, of vinegar. Now this is just a plain white vinegar, and I use a plain white vinegar for the same reason that I use avocado oil in this recipe, and that's because it's a very neutral flavor. So can you use apple cider vinegar? Absolutely you can. Apple cider vinegar has its own flavor. And for me, pardon me, frog in my throat this morning. For me, I want my mayonnaise to taste as close to Hellmann's mayonnaise as I can make it taste. So that's what that is. Okay, so we have 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of acid. So you can pick whatever you like. Lemon juice, lime juice, apple cider vinegar, red wine vinegar, whatever it is you want to put in there. And we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. And just make sure we get it all in there. And then we're going to use an immersion blender. Now, this is important. You have to have the immersion blender almost the same diameter as the jar, because otherwise you've got too much stuff going around it and it needs to be doing its job. Now we're just gonna pulse this a couple of times, 3 or 4 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds, whatever, and then we are going to add a teaspoon. Now you can do this after the fact, but I'm going to do it right now. We're going to add a teaspoon of TSL ground brown mustard, and we are going to add not a drop and not a smidgen, but a pinch. There we go. Did you know that they have actual definitions. There we go. Just a pinch of cayenne pepper. Now, if you don't have cayenne, if you don't have ground brown mustard, that's not a problem. We can get you set up. Just let me know what you need. Now, we have all of that in there. I'll keep this over here where you can see it. And we are going to start adding a cup of avocado oil. Now, this is the avocado oil that I use. And you can get this at Costco. And I like this Chosen Foods avocado oil because it's a very neutral flavor. And that is important. Now, did you notice? I poured it in kind of slowly, but not really slowly. And this is going to start to emulsify and get thick, like mayonnaise, because it is mayonnaise. Okay, now this is going to be very possibly the first time ever that this has happened to me. My mayonnaise is not emulsifying. Now see, I am not perfect. Things do go awry. One of the most important things about this is your egg absolutely has to be room temperature. And this just is not wanting to emulsify. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's still very liquid. Now at this point, and you guys have seen me make mayonnaise before, at this point, this should be a very thick, creamy mayonnaise. And it is not. So, fortunately for us, I just happen to have some at the ready because you just cannot not have mayonnaise. So, this batch did work. Easy peasy, same ingredients. And this one, the batch that we just tried to make that did not work, that's not a problem. We can still work with that a little bit later. I'll make a batch of salad dressing out of it. Okay, now we are just going to take this off of here. Now, once you have your mayonnaise made and it turns out, not like this one, not sure what happened there, but you know what? That is one of those things that just happens now and again, and you roll with it. Don't get frustrated. Don't get mad that it didn't turn out. Think about what it is that you did. What could the possible reasons be? And honestly, I'm going to have to give this some thought a little later on because my egg was room temperature. I have poured the oil in that fast many, many times. So I'm not just exactly sure what happened there, but it's all good. Now, we are going to peel some eggs. Now these, one of the things that I love about having a magnetic induction stove is that you can set the timer on it and the burner just turns off. So that is exactly what I did. Now look at how easily this egg is peeling. Now you want your eggs to be hard boiled, not soft boiled. That's not going to work. And we're just going to get 6 of these peeled. Now my intention was to have these, some of these at least, peeled before we got together this morning, but as usual, time got away from me. So look at these eggs, just peel so easily. You don't have to worry about the shell sticking unless you get a little rammy like I just did. And it just works perfectly. Now, I set the timer on this for 10 minutes and then just walked away from it, and I let them cook and let them cool. So there is a very real possibility that we're going to have some gray lines in our yolks, and in a perfect world that doesn't happen, but we don't live in a perfect world. So because we're going to be dressing these deviled eggs up today, there we go, just sliding right off there. Because we're going to be dressing these deviled eggs up today, it doesn't really matter so much that the yolks are a different color, because we're going to be adding mayonnaise and some spice to it that is going to change the color of it anyway. So look at how easy that is. How many times have you had to go to the cupboard or go to the drawer? See that? Just poof, just like that. How many times have you had to go to the drawer and get a spoon to take the shell off the eggs? I'm telling you, this is absolutely the easiest way to do it, and I recommend it to everybody. So what is this easy way that I do it? Well, if you look in here, you'll see that that is a strainer. So what I do is I do not boil my eggs, I steam them. That's it. That's the entire secret. You don't have to add vinegar. You don't have to add salt. You don't have to heat it and then reheat it and reheat it again. You just put them in the steamer basket, turn it on for about 10 minutes, and then take it off and let it cool. Okay, now we're going to cut these eggs in half, and look at that. I figured, so next time I do this, maybe I'll do it for 8 minutes and let it cool. So we're going to cut these in half lengthways, and then take a spoon and just put the egg yolks in a bowl and set the egg whites aside, tippy side down, cavity side up. Let's just do all of these at once. Now, if you get one that breaks, it's not a big deal. If you tear the white, don't worry about it. It's going to taste the same. Do you know anybody that made deviled eggs when you were little? Who was it that introduced you to deviled eggs? You don't see them as much now, I guess, as you maybe did in the 60s or 70s or late 1800s, early 1900s. And they were called deviled eggs because you boiled them first, so you boiled the hell out of them. I was told that that's how you cook kidney. Not that that's ever going to be a thing that we do on here. And yes, I know kidney is keto, and no, I don't care. So if you would like to eat kidney, I think that is wonderful. You should do that. I am not going to be showing you how. There are not very many things that I turn my nose up at, but there are a few, and that would definitely be one of them. Okay. See, just that easy. And you can see on the outside of these egg yolks, see how they're a little bit gray? That means that they're overdone. So in this recipe, it isn't going to matter. But depending on what you're doing, if you're using these for a garnish on a potato salad, then it does matter. So your stove, your altitude, play with it a little bit and make sure that you're getting your eggs exactly where you want them. So next time I do this, I will do it for 8 minutes. Okay, now we have our eggs in here. And I'm going to use my little egg masher. And we're going to get these all mashed up so that they're nice and smooth. And then we are going to add 1/4 cup of homemade mayonnaise. And why is it important to have your mayonnaise homemade? It is important because, is that 1/4 cup-ish? Yeah, that looks like, that's good. It's important because when you make it at home, which is actually easier than it appeared when we tried doing it a little while ago, when you make it at home, you know exactly what's in it. You know exactly where your ingredients came from. You know exactly how fresh they are. You know exactly how long the mayonnaise has been in the jar. You know everything about this batch of mayonnaise that we're doing. Okay, so this is nice and creamy. Might have had a little more than 1/4 cup in there, but it's all good. Okay, now to this, we are going to add, where did I put it? There it is. We're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of vinegar. A little bit of acid in here helps balance out the creamy. So we're just going to do a little bit of that. Now there is going to be a little more acid than that, because the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of yellow mustard. Now you could use Dijon mustard, you can use whatever kind of mustard you like. I was a girl raised on French's mustard, and that's my preference, so that's what I'm doing. Now we're going to get this all beat up, and you can use your blender, you can use your hand mixer, you can do this however you want. The smoother you can get it, the prettier it's going to look once we get it in the shells. Now you can just use a teaspoon to do this. Or you can use a piping bag. And you'll see, the more we mash it, the smoother it's getting. And if it isn't perfect, it isn't perfect. Okay, we'll get this little dude out of here. Whoops. This is my little egg masher. See, I might as well have used a mixer and making enough noise. Look at how adorable he is. Just the cutest little guy. I love these things. They used to be available in a grocery store that I shopped at often. Okay, now we have this done. Now for the magic ingredients. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon, no more than 1/2 teaspoon of TSL Organics breakfast sausage seasoning. Yes, this is breakfast sausage seasoning. It is not just for breakfast sausages. And I will tell you, never ever have I made, get a 1/2 teaspoon out here. Never, oh, that's 1 teaspoon. That would be way too much. Okay, there's a 1/2 teaspoon. Never ever have I made sausages in a casing, because you do all that work to get them in a casing just so that you can break them apart. No, I have no interest in that. Okay, so next, after a 1/2 teaspoon of breakfast sausage seasoning, we're just going to spice this up a bit more. And this is optional, so you do you, but we're just going to add a pinch of cayenne. So there's a little bit of cayenne in the mayonnaise that we put in there, but not quite enough. So we're just going to dress this up a little bit more and give this a good mix. Now you can put this in a piping bag, or you can just do it with a spoon. There are no rules. Well, whatever rules are in your kitchen. I cannot count the number of times that I have said to somebody, once you get it into your kitchen, your rules. And that's just as easy as that is. So, if you are wondering how to get your hands on some TSL Organics breakfast sausage seasoning, you just come and see me at the Ponoka Community Market on Mondays, or the Wetaskiwin Farmers Market at the Ag Center on Wednesdays, Thursday in Lacombe. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this, and then Wednesday and Thursday this week I'm away. Wednesday in Wetaskiwin, Thursday in Lacombe, Saturday in Rimbey, all in Alberta, Canada. Okay, now we are going to take a little blob of this, and we are just going to stick that in the eggshell. We can go back and put more in if we want, and we can do a taste test before we start doing this. And if you have a piping bag and you want to do it and make it look a little bit fancier, by all means, do that. And I got to tell you, I got a phone call from somebody today who said there was somebody that they worked with. Well, we got to make sure that this is mostly standing up so it doesn't fall over and get the filling on the tray. Somebody that they worked with is keto. And they always have snacks in the staff room. And so they were wondering what they could bake. Cookies, cake, cheesecake, maybe make some ice cream. They knew this person liked ice cream. This is a wonderful way to make somebody who is keto feel included. A bad way to make them feel included is to say, have a cookie, have a muffin, have this, have that. Eat, eat, eat. Don't do that to people. It is amazing how many times you will have somebody say to you, well, one won't hurt you. You would never say that to an alcoholic. You would never say to an alcoholic, well, just have one beer, it'll be fine. Just have one whiskey. It won't hurt you, just one. Or just a couple. Or it's, it's Tuesday, we're all going out. It's Saturday, we're all going out. Well, you would never do that to an addict. Well, if someone is doing keto, that is a very specific choice that they've made. Don't push carbs on them. If you're eating them successfully, in your opinion, and you don't see anything wrong with that, you have a right to your opinion. But they have a right to their opinion. So if you want to make someone feel included, make something like this. So TSL organic spices are not only keto-friendly spices. They are definitely keto-friendly. But they are friendly for everybody. So you've got somebody at work that you want to make sure that they feel included. Having something in a separate container that is specifically for them, it's going to make them feel like they are standing out in a new environment. So not the best option. But if you do something like this, some cheese, pickles, not sweetened, dill pickles, sour pickles, that's something that if they choose to participate, they can do that. And if they choose not to, it is very possibly because they are also doing intermittent fasting and it's just not the right time for them. So respect their decision the same way that you would respect somebody with an allergy to shellfish. You would never say, well, just one little shrimp or one little... No, you would never do that to them. So, oh, look at that. We've got this done already. And you definitely want to make sure that you scrape every little teeny tiny bit out of this bowl because it is absolutely delicious. Which one are we going to put this on? This one. It's looking a little bit lonely. Okay. Ha ha. That is me licking the spoon, you betcha. Now, we're just going to take those and set them over there. Look at this. We peeled 6 eggs, took us seconds, and now we have a dozen beautiful deviled eggs that are definitely not your mama's deviled eggs. And oh my goodness, this is absolutely lovely. Put them in the fridge. Let the filling in this set for a while, and you will be thrilled with how it turns out. And then you can serve them, top them with some chives or some celery leaf or whatever it is you want to top them with. A little bit of paprika, that is definitely traditional. Make sure that you do at least one extra because quality control test. You want to make sure that you enjoy what you're serving to your guests. Now remember, you can also put this filling in the fridge and just let it sit for a while and then bring it out and see if you want to adjust the seasoning in any way. More breakfast sausage seasoning, more cayenne, a little more salt, a little less, however it is that you want to do it that way. Thank you very much for being here with me and writing down the recipe for not your mama's deviled eggs. These definitely are different than anything that you've had recently. Can I get the camera to focus on that? Maybe? Yes? No? Maybe not so much. Okay, well, another time. I hope you have an amazing week. Please do your very best to be the best version of you that you can be. Reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to for a while. Reaching out to them will make their day bright, but it will also make your day brighter. Have an amazing day, and thank you for being here. You guys are a favorite part of